technical difficulties there. They got the video removed of me building my patio. And the only reason I think they targeted that video is because they want everyone to think that I'm crazy. And you certainly can't have a video out there where I'm building a patio in my backyard. And that's the key to all of this. And I don't know what to say. They send just bizarro threats. This morning, it was a phone number that, of course, I'm not going to call, and a picture, another email from the same account that was involved when everything was going down in Owen is the one that sends me the threats constantly. And the thing was entitled like "We have ways of dealing with dogs," and then it was just an email with a picture of a constant people standing in a concentration camp, and that's what the picture is. You can go check out my blog. I'll put the description. I'll put the links and stuff in the description when I get done with this. You can go see for yourselves, but it's just been intense. And I think they wanted that video down because they want everyone to think that I am unstable, that there's something wrong with me. And the only thing that's wrong is I'm telling the truth about the shit I'm saying. Hey, I'm telling the truth with the things that I'm saying. And this child trafficking ring just needs to be exposed. And this whole Nazi thing has been going on for so long. That is the reason why I will never vote for a fascist or anyone who is connected to the Nazis. The Pacific Northwest is inundated with Nazis. Inundated with Nazis. People who adhere to the Nazi philosophy. And I live in Iowa now, southwest Iowa, and it's not any less prevalent here. Might is right. And they have a tractor. When you're coming in, it's like on 49, I think that road is. It's in between Portsmouth and Harlem. And they have a sign that says Trump was right or something like that. And do they realize that that is what Mussolini used in World War II? It was that very thing. It ended up boiling down. It was used so much that it was Mussolini is always right. And so this, it's just disheartening to see what's going on. It's disheartening. And the fact that I called 911 and they sent me to a satellite office that doesn't exist in Council Bluffs, and it was just, it is beyond. It is beyond. But I'm realizing that heaven is using me, this Sam Hain. You know, Sam Hain, the gist of it is the spirits, it's the veil is the thinnest at Sam Hain. And when you're able to open doors because of what you were trained by the Luciferians, it comes in really handy. And I've been praying a lot and really focused on the spiritual because I don't know what else to do. The police aren't going to help. This is all child trafficking. They're telling me I'm going to disappear. Now they're telling me I'm going to be Isaac Cappy. They're on top of everything I do because they want me to go away. They want me to go away so they can shut me up. That's what they did to Lori King. Lori King, a month before Lori King ended up perished, they got her to take all of her social media down. And Lori King was prevalent. She was a outspoken survivor. She's the major founder of Ivory Garden. That was the whole thing about Ivory Garden. And she was the founder, and they got her to take all of her social media down. And she did. They convinced her to take it all down. So she took everything down. And a month later, she was gone. She was perished. That Amber person drove 2.5 hours, showed up out of nowhere, got her in a car, took her 2.5 hours back down to her house where Lori King committed suicide. The same weekend that Ivory Garden was throwing its second annual trauma conference in Seattle. The same exact weekend. But it's all coincidence. Nothing, nothing amounts to anything else. Hey, guys. Lori King, Lori King. Go to davidshurter.com. Go type in Lori King in the search bar, and you'll find everything. Everything. Because Lori King was a founder. Lori King and I weren't friends. She did not like me because I was working with the other founder who was working for the bad side. Let's just say that the person who took over control of Ivory Garden knew that frickin' Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, lived 23 miles away in Tacoma and never told me. Never told me. And it's Lori King, and all of that happened that weekend was meant to scare everybody who was involved with Ivory Garden, all the survivors, because it was a survivor chat. It was all aimed for survivors. It drew in survivors of ritual abuse, and it gave everyone a community. And that's what it did. So what ended up happening to Lori King the weekend of the second annual conference scared the shit out of everyone. Everyone. There were no more conferences after that. Imagine that. Imagine that. And it's all out in the open. It's all out in the open. Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple. And Emily Thorne, who's not Emily Thorne. Emily Thorne, actually, is the name of the main character of a soap opera called Revenge. I didn't even know that until my sister told me that. And so it was just, and they scared people. They scared people. It ended up pissing me off. And obviously Lori King's husband had an issue with it because he was dead less than a year later. That's how it worked. And and now they're just making all kinds of threats to me. All kinds of threats. And that's why I focus on the spiritual. Because if I focused on them, I'd be lost. The 911 people, the woman there, sent me to an FBI satellite office in Council Bluffs that doesn't exist. And she didn't seem like she was stupid on the phone. I didn't get the impression she didn't sound stupid. So unless you believe that she's inept at her job, it was done intentionally. And now they're taking down videos intentionally. They don't want people to see that I'm building a patio out in my back. They want everyone to think I'm unstable and oh my God, I'm crazy and all of that. And none of that is the truth. None of it is the truth. and I show screenshots of their own shit. And I don't know what else to do. I just know that God has control. And this Samhain will be interesting because I've already opened doors. I've already opened doors. And that's what I've spent all my time doing. They trained me to be a vessel, the vessel for the Antichrist. People can say whatever the fuck they want to say, but it doesn't negate what was going on in Hummel Park and Forest Lawn Cemetery and Offutt Air Force Base. Doesn't negate any of that. Just because you don't want to believe it doesn't fucking negate it. But what I will say on the whole situation is that they're just screwed. They taught me how to be a vessel through shamanism and the practice of shamanism, which was the flip side of the coin from Luciferianism. I was able to learn how to become a doorway, a doorman, more like it. I'm able to open doors, and spiritually, consciously. And I'm sure all those people who naysay and think, oh, that sounds crazy, I bet you spent a lot of time actually researching and figuring out if it's possible. You know, chances are you haven't even given a second thought, and you have this reactionary opinion that comes on, and you think that reactionary opinion based on nothing is valid. And I don't know what to say to that. Okay, I guess. My world doesn't work that way, but if yours does, more power to you. They're trying to get everything taken down. They figure that if they get rid of me, they've gotten rid of the whole situation. Because I'm the only one that's real that's left. They've annihilated everybody else, And it's not just Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Couple. It's all the rats in Sewer Town, too. The Dead Isaac Cappy Club. They're all involved. And they're all Nazis. That's the thing that holds this group together. It's not the satanic bullshit. It's the Nazi bullshit. That's the hold they have over my sheriff and his little captain, because they adhere to the Nazi philosophy. They'll call it whatever the fuck it is they want, but they believe in power, and they believe they should have it and no one else should. That's fucking Nazi philosophy right there in a nutshell. They want power, and they don't think anyone else should have it. And they want absolute power. And, okay? I am not even going to try and pronounce that name. Has written about 12 books on Satanism. He says people on their bus might as well get off, as it is a bus going nowhere fast. Oh, it's going fast. It's going right into the abyss. They're going straight into the dark. They're going straight into the dark. That's what's getting ready to happen. There is no more. The war with heaven is over. Their side lost. There's no more spiritual principalities to help them out, for them to leech their shit off of. There's no more of that. And so now they get to deal with the chaos, because their big mantra is order out of chaos. And order out of chaos is fine if you can control, if you're the one in control of the chaos. But they're no longer in control of the chaos. They have no more. That's why all their shit is coming out. For the first time ever, as a whole, everyone is seeing things as they are for the first time. And yeah, it makes people afraid. And because now you're starting to realize that the world you live in doesn't even exist. There is so much bad shit happening that's in control, but they've lost control. They're losing control quickly. And the darkness is feeding them. That everything is crashing down. Everything is crashing down. And the whole Nazi shit is just, it's not gonna last. If they were going to win, they would have already won. But they haven't won. They lost. And now they're playing catch up to a game that not only are they not going to catch up, they're collateral damage. And what we can all do as individuals is fill our hearts with love. Stop worrying about what everyone else is doing and figure out whether or not your heart is filled with love. And if it isn't, I would suggest you fill it quickly. How you do it is totally up to you. No one has those answers, but I would figure it out the fuck fast. I would. Otherwise, you're going to get claimed. It's as simple as that. The message could not be more simple. Fill your hearts with love, or you're going to get claimed by the dark. That's how it's going to work. And you can complain and argue and whine and all you want, but it does not change the very simple message. Fill your hearts with love, or you're going to get claimed by the dark. And if you get claimed by the dark, you ain't gonna like it. They think they can take power back that was never theirs in the first place. And it's not gonna work. And then your soul will be claimed again. I'm so connected to the dark and always have all of my life. The dark does not bother me at all. You're actually going to say you're going to kill me. Mm-hmm. You're a fucking weirdo. David Herter. Hurther. I'm sure that's off of my name. The thing about it is that all of the shit that goes on, and there are people in here, would you just keep taking screenshots, please? That way I don't have to constantly. You know? They start off with death threats, and then they think that they can follow it with crazy shit so that it can be dismissed. But it's not dismissed. This is the same shit I'm dealing with through the Villa account that I just keep forwarding to my police. This is the same shit. It's the same shit. You know? Well, I know you're in my house all the time, dumbasses. Tell me something I don't know. Am I supposed to cower? Am I supposed to be afraid? I can't control you. You're going to do whatever the fuck it is you want to do. But you do it in the shadows and the dark. And then you come in here with anonymous names and jump around. It's just bizarre. And I'm done fighting with it. They do get into my house. I deleted him. It has never been this bad. It has become... I can't begin to describe to you guys how bad it is right now. I cannot begin to describe to you. It is non-stop. It does not stop. And it is constant, constant, constant. That's why I end up having to take a break. I have to just take a break from my phone, not look at my phone, not go on social media, not check my Gmail, not check anything. And I can't, you know? Yes, you can't take him seriously. He didn't use proper grammar. The thing about it is that, yeah, exactly what was said when this shit was going on with Isaac Cappy. It was the same shit. Because that's how they do it. That's how they do it. They do these threats, but they wrap it up in so much weird bullshit that they think, oh, well, you can't take it seriously because it's crazy. And it's true. It is crazy. And yet people still end up dead. That's what I'm saying. Yes, it's crazy. People still end up fucking dead. And so you have to take it seriously because this is how it works every time. And you always have people in there saying, well, you can't take it seriously. That's what my sheriff says. Oh, they're just trolling you. Oh, you can't take it seriously. But people end up dead. I have been fucking terrorized. And I'm not going to just dismiss the shit. People are amazed I've survived. And AM is saying that. That's just it. People who actually are on the right side of this, we are put in this for a reason. And our tests are never easy. And we get violated constantly. And you just have to take it and get over it and keep doing what heaven is calling you to do. Because you can't control that. There's nothing you can do to control them. And if they know that they get under your skin, they're going to get under your skin. So what needs to happen is you just tell yourself, fuck, whatever, you deal with it, you know? I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about him, Kate. I really am not. I'm angry because this is happening. It's not just him. It's not just him. It's happening on a level that I cannot even begin. It's never been like this before. To be honest, people in my life have actually expressed a fear that it might be that they want to ritually sacrifice me this Samhain. I didn't even really... Who wants to think about shit like that? But it's been brought up to me by several people just as a question, you know? So if they're bringing it up to me as a question, then obviously they've actually thought about it. And so am I worried about it? No. Whatever's going to fucking happen is going to happen. And heaven, whatever is going to happen, God is going to use it for heaven's purpose. So no matter what. And I knew what I was getting involved with before I ever got involved with any of this. I know what this group is all about. I grew up with them as a child. Of course I knew what this group was all about. The thing about the situation with that dude is that it's part of them. It's part of them. They're doing whatever they can to trigger me in any way they possibly can. That's what they do to victims. I'm not the only one that they've done this to. It's just that I'm the one who doesn't give a shit, and I fight, you know? I fight. And I'm going to keep fighting against this shit. And I'm not going to go hide in my bedroom like Isaac Cappy did. I'm certainly not just going to give them the upper hand like Lori King did and Max Spears. He called his mom that night. He knew what he was what he was walking into. And he did it. I understand. But if I'd been in that situation, I would have been at the fucking airport. There would have been nothing. I would have left all my shit just to get away from that. You know? And so I do have divine protection. I really do believe I have divine protection. You passed the test of this life, David. That's how I look at it. And don't let them change the love in your heart. No matter what they do not let them have that much power. If you realized how fucking low life these people are as a whole, they are just despicable souls. You wouldn't fear them. You wouldn't. What gives them power is because they hide in the dark. And so the dark is about ready to claim them. So it's appropriate that they hide in the dark. And they can't even get it through their heads what they need to do. I laughed because the big story, they didn't drug Max, they drowned him. They drowned him in the bathtub. They may have drugged him before he was drowned in the bathtub, but they obviously drowned Max because his mother told me that when she got his body back, his phone was waterlogged. And I asked her, did Max always carry his phone? I mean, I always carry my phone. She said, yes. He had his phone with him. He had to. How did his phone become waterlogged? I guess it takes Sherlock Holmes to figure that one out. It sure as fuck wasn't black liquid that was coming out of his mouth. Because that whole story was just stupid. You know, they drowned him. They drowned him. And I do not find it coincidental that he died a week and a half after I had reached out to him. We were planning on starting to talk when he got back from Poland or wherever he was going for that interview. He was going, and when he got back, we were gonna, and we had plans to actually at least talk online because he knew who I was, I knew who he was, and we were interested in talking. I have not seen Eyes of the Devil documentary. I have not seen that. Guys, something is in the air. Something is coming. And whether or not we want to say it or not, we're all on edge. So take a deep breath, calm the fuck down, and stop attacking each other. You know, realize that we're all in the same boat. And no one wants to talk about it, but we can all feel that something is imminently in front of us. The documentary can tell more about the ones who took Max. That documentary can tell. Tell me that documentary again, please. I know something of the devil. I didn't know much about what was going on. It's just that everything that I learned about Max, it was the same situation as it was with Isaac. Every single person in his life was a bad guy. He was surrounded by them. Eyes of the devil. Eyes of the devil. I will definitely look into that. Eyes of the devil. Thank you. But I'm not going to, I have heaven on my side, and I am well loved in heaven. Patrick Vegan is the producer. I'll listen back to these because I try to keep them under an hour now. I figure under an hour people might listen to the shit that I have to say. I am not crazy. You know, I'm just not. But I am sick to death of the attacks. I am sick of the death threats. The dude that came in here, that David dude, didn't tell me anything I didn't already know. The police aren't going to help me. Really? Wow, tell me something I didn't fucking know. You know? Maybe I can go spend the rest of the day today going and looking for the FBI satellite office in Council Bluffs that doesn't exist like I did the other day. You know? Oh, they always try to call every victim. Patrick Vega from Poland made this documentary. That's very interesting. Patrick Vega from Poland. Eyes of the Devil. I will definitely look into that. There's some great documentaries out there. Boys for Sale. Dr. Tom Philpott. You know? The same thing that happened to him happened to Lori King and Isaac Cappy and everyone else. You know? He fought against these people and it drove him so sad that he ended up committing suicide. You know? That's how this works, isn't it? And if anyone believes that, you're an idiot. But the group is not big. You just have to go look at the tags in almost every single thing I post, and you'll get all of the names that will start you on the search to bring you all the other names. And so the best way to investigate this child trafficking thing that was going on in Hollywood is investigate Isaac Cappy. Live Isaac Cappy. Who Isaac Cappy was hanging out with, what he was doing, what he was involved with, who was he involved with before he ended up dead and the Dead Isaac Cappy Club formed. But you'll find that all the people that are involved with the Dead Isaac Cappy Club are all the same ones that were involved with Alive Isaac Cappy, which is the whole reason why they formed the Dead Isaac Cappy Club afterwards. You're helping us connect all the dots. That is why they are so angry with me. That is why they are so angry with me. They are targeting your children online. And Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, has a long history of attacking and silencing victims of child trafficking and ritual abuse. He has a long history with his involvement, however way you want to look at it, with Neil Brick and Neil Brick's SMART conference. It's interesting how the SMART conference was able to last as long as it has, and Ivory Garden only lasted until Lori King was taken out. They want to silence and scare victims. That's what they want to do. They want to scare victims. And they use all this Nazi bullshit to do it. It's not like they made this shit up. They're not all that bright. I watched the documentary, very sick. Cannot tell if it's genuine. Lots of people saying the girl was an actor. The girl was an actor. Every single person. Every single person that was in Max Spear's life that they interviewed and was all out there and blah, 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 they were all part of the bad side. Just like Isaac Cappy. They're all on the bad side. Just like that Hampstead case in the UK. All on the bad side. Every one of them was on the bad side. That's the reason why in the UK, they'll just go on and on and on and on and on about the Hampstead case. The only thing real about the Hampstead case were the children. They were the only ones. And they were surrounded on both sides with bad people who made it out to be such a ridiculous situation that everyone wanted to throw the baby out with the bathwater. When really, in the UK, if you look at Shirley Oaks, that group home that has, 500 survivors who have come together now? That's a bit hard to actually dismiss. That's why they don't ever want to talk about Shirley Oaks. Oh, no. because it's really hard to target and silence 500 survivors who are a collective. That's the reason why they don't do it. And in the United States, they've just nailed us. Australia, they nailed them. All the laws are changed. Fiona Barnett would be jailed today for doing what she did years ago. She would be thrown in jail today for it. And so can you imagine how much garbage they could collect if they worked as hard on real work as they do with you? Oh, wait, they don't have skills for that either. No, they don't. 500 with the same testimony from the same group home that the Catholic Church was involved with. Same freaking thing, you know? Who was involved with the whole thing? What was that documentary that was on YouTube about the nun that they murdered? Sister Mary. I don't remember the title of that video. Same thing. Same thing. You know? Same thing. And Sam Hain is upon us. The big thing for ritual abuse survivors is that Sam Hain is when the ritual blood sacrifice kicks off big time. Kicks off big time. For me, they murdered so many prepubescent white boys. It was different from my siblings. My siblings tell me that they just murdered everybody. Adults, male, female, little girls, little boys, didn't make any difference. But for me, it was always prepubescent white boys. That's what I was raised with. But Sam Hain, the night of Sam Hain, that's big for them. It's a big celebration. I did. Why don't you block people that are abusive? I did. Those people that were abusive, I ended up blocking them. I'll indulge them for a minute so that they can say their stupid shit so I can take screenshots of it, and then I block them. Salem was on fire the other night. I live 20 miles away and could smell the smoke. Wow, that's interesting. This shit is just getting ready. Everything is getting ready. It's coming to it. It's building up to a crescendo. And we can all feel it. We can all feel it. It's just that a lot of people will spend a lot of time dismissing it and denying it. And it's 38 minutes, and I just want to make sure that I say in this video, I need to actually reiterate so that everyone knows where I stand on it, because I can't even believe that I'm actually having to say this. But Nazis are bad, okay? Nazis are bad. And if you have any question of whether or not Nazis are bad, go watch an Indiana Jones show. Just go watch Indiana Jones. It's davidshurter.com. So it's David and then SHUR, T as in Tom, ER.com. Everything is coming, building. And heaven is here, and heaven is offering victims reparations. And that's what they face. Oh, I'm glad you found it. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Perfect example. Perfect example. Nazis are bad people. And I can say that from personal experience because they've been on top of me a lot. It was bad in Council Bluffs, but when I moved to Algona, it was horrid. Horrid. The Pacific Northwest is so full of this Nazi mentality. And then when I came back to Iowa, that's been no better, you know? And I should have just researched into it because they voted in Steve King over and over and over, and he was an open white supremacist. The only reason why they voted him out is because Congress ended up taking him off his seats and he didn't have any power, and so they got rid of him because he didn't have anything to offer. But everyone around here was fine that he was a Nazi. Nazis never stop with one group. They won't. They won't stop. Historically, they don't stop. You know, when they came for the socialists, I did nothing because I wasn't a socialist. When they came for the Marxists, I did nothing because I wasn't a Marxist. When they came for the Jews, I did nothing because I wasn't a Jew. But when they came for fucking me, there was no one left to stand because they'd already taken everybody else. That's how it works. Inscribed on a wall by a person who probably got exterminated in that camp. But we don't care about history, you know? And I'm telling you, they suck. Dealing with them sucks. And of course they're on top of me because what did the FBI bust by accident? Because they busted that 22-year-old on gun charges. But it was his social media that led them to a global Nazi satanic pedophile ring, which they busted a year ago last September in New York City. You just have to type in Nazi satanic pedophile ring and The Guardian for the article to come up. That's all you have to do. And of course they're on top of me. And it's hard to dismiss their shit when so many people have ended up dead. At the top, they work together. They do. They all work together. They work as a group. They work as a group, but that group isn't that big. And that's what I want everyone to realize. The group is not as big. They want you to think they're legion. They're everyone and everything. They're legion. And it's just another fucking lie. It's a bullshit story. There's a collective group for that. And the people that they can't buy, they blackmail. That's the reason why it seems like there's so many of them. But they don't have the allegiances of each other. Controlling each other through fear because you have each other's shit doesn't make good bedfellows. I'm just saying. When you have to be afraid that the person you're in bed with is going to slit your throat to save their hide, it's not good bedfellows. And not one of them is going to be able to save the other. Not one of them. They're all about ready to be claimed. And so they're going to act like dumbasses because they don't have any fortitude or any introspection enough to actually realize that I'm telling them the truth in order to try and help them. Because ending up in the dark sucks. It's going to suck. It's going to suck. It's going to suck. So I do what I do to give you the opportunity to actually choose another path. Fill your hearts with love or be claimed by the dark. It's as simple as that. It's a simple, simple message. But they took off the video of me building the patio because they don't want anyone to see that I am a normal dude who just is doing normal things. And their threats and all of their bizarro bullshit is on them, not me. I am simply just having to deal with the bullshit. But because they're willing to dole it out, doesn't make me crazy. What power do you actually think I have to control them to do otherwise of what they're doing? Really? You think I have the power? They don't have the power to control themselves. But I'm supposed to have the power. I'm supposed to be what? Omnipresent? Let alone omniscient to control them? They're responsible for their weird ass bullshit. That's a fact. I can't control them. I have no control over anything they do. They break into my house. Who am I going to call? Even if I walked in and they were standing in my house and I took a picture of it and sent it to the police, what do you think would actually happen? You know? It's just, what do you think would happen? We are each 100% responsible for ourselves and solely for ourselves. I can't control anyone else. I can only control myself. And so therefore, I come on here, I try to be as helpful as I possibly can. I'm exposing the shit as well as I am able. Yes, I'm an irritable old guy. And the older I get, the more irritable. I'm actually quite pleasant in real life when I'm not having to deal with this bullshit. But every time I come on here, that's kind of what I'm having to deal with. And so, but like I said, I've just stopped looking at my phone. I put on my earphones, put on music, and then I just ignore the phone. And because it's just over the top right now. It's over the top. And again, if something happens to me, I didn't do it myself. It was them. I am in no way a threat to myself or to anyone else. If something happens, it was them. I'm not doing anything. Are you kidding? I have been under their microscope for I don't know how many years. Obviously, they can't find anything because there's nothing to find. And so they are going to do what they are going to do. That's the way it's going to work. And this whole satanic, Nazi, pedophile bullshit, it's already coming out. Hollywood, Abercrombie and Finch, dude, it's not going to stop there. It's all starting to come out. There's no way to prevent it. There's no way to prevent it. And so and they think all of their stupid little shit coming in here is gonna make a difference. They think all their stupid shit that they send me, all the threats, calling me on the phone, Captain Underpants calling me on the phone, all the threats, all the emails, all of the bullshit. They think that it has an effect. And all it is just, whatever. They can't beat heaven. They can't beat what's here to claim them. They can't do it. There's nothing in it. They can't beat heaven. And this whole child trafficking bullshit, I will never fucking stop trying to expose it. I never will. Because for me to sit back and just let it happen would make me complicit. And it'll never, Never happened. Never happened. I have nicknames for all of them, you know, because, and they just are so full of ego. They just, and Captain Underpants obviously was drunk. He sounded drunk, you know? It, okay. So you're sitting around getting drunk thinking about me. And who's in control of who? Because when I'm outside working on that patio, or I'm sewing, or I'm helping people out at their store, or I'm doing stuff for the community, or I'm ending up helping people, which is what I do, I don't have time to think about that. That's just it. I don't have time. Nor do I have the compunction, because it's just irritating to think about them. So I try not to. And I don't like to spend the whole day irritated. It's exhausting. You know, who wants to spend the entire day irritated? It's exhausting. And so I try to put it out of my mind. I'm at 51 minutes. I want to pray quick because I always talk a little bit, and I want to keep these to about an hour. I think I have more of a chance of people listening to me for an hour than I do when they're hours and hours and hours long. We come to you as your children, heaven. We love you. I don't know what's getting ready to happen. I will just keep following what I'm being told to do and standing strong. This whole child trafficking stuff needs to be exposed. It does. It does. And finding out that my stepmother is not dead changed everything for me. And heaven knows it. It's given me much more of a focus because the past isn't completely dead. And so therefore, I feel it needs to be revisited. And so I don't know what they have planned. Samhain is upon us, but I know that everything in my life is providence, and you have everything in hand. And I know this because your son, our brother, taught us that everything was providence, that heaven is inside of us and all around us. And we have to seek and we shall find, but you have to seek first. And I have. And I am grateful for our brother Jesus Christ. And I say these things with as much gratitude and love as I can muster in this prayer. Amen. And so I always lose people when I pray. I don't care. I like to pray. And every single one of you ends up thinking about it. And it just takes, when two or more are in my name, that's all it takes. And we don't have to be in the same place. That's why I like to pray. That's why I like to pray. Lord, please place a healing hand on David. Send the negative energy back to the sender tenfold. Amen to that. Amen to that. I think someone wants everyone to vote for Camilla. I'm not good with all of those, but I think so. I think that's what that means, but I can't see what it is. You know? I can't see what it is. If anything made me more solid in what I believed, it was that Madison Square Garden fiasco. No one can deny what was said there. No one can deny what was said there. And if that's the fucking America that people want, be careful what you fucking wish for. You know? And I'm not, again, I'm conflicted, but I don't know a lot about the other side. But this whole celebration of hate and anger and grievances is just, aren't we fucking tired of it already? Isn't it exhausting to go through that already? Are we not tired of the reality TV show? Living it in real life. Are we not tired of it yet? Nazis are bad people. The Nazi mentality only leads to bad things. That's how it works. And it's the Nazis that combined all these child killers involved with the FBI busted a year ago last September in New York City. It was the Nazi mentality that brought that all together. That's the thing, not the Satanist shit. The Satanist shit was just a focus so they could get those kids to do all kinds of bizarro shit. But it was the Nazi mentality that fueled that. Aren't we tired of hating each other? Go ahead. Hate everyone as much as you can. But when you end up in the dark because of it, you only have yourself to blame. Flat out, you only have yourself to blame. Fill your hearts with love, or you're going to end up in the fucking dark. I don't know how more simple I can make that. I don't know how more simple I can make that. Love, life, and God, and everyone around you. And if you don't know how to do that, or you're unable to do that, I'd figure out how as quickly as I could, because we are quickly running out of time. In fact, in the scope of time, what I've seen spiritually, the last grain of sand is about to fall in the hourglass. That's where we're at. So live your life how the fuck you want it. Do whatever hell you want to do. Hate and take and want all you want. But it's gonna end you up in the dark. That's where you're gonna end up. The only way you will ascend is to fill your hearts with love. However way you can do that. And that's, the message is the same now as it always was. You'll either do it or there'll be consequences, and you won't like the consequences. Every time people face the wrath of God, they don't like the consequences. You ain't going to like the consequences. So I suggest you do what we were commanded to do and fill your hearts with love. And for those of you who are out there sending me death threats and breaking into my house and all of the other bullshit that you're doing, you're going to get yours. You are going to get yours. And your arrogance and your ignorance is not going to save you. And I can't say that enough. I can't stop you from doing what you're going to do. I can't stop you. But I can sure as hell point out you're on the wrong path. And I would change direction here quick. Because the crazies that had the cardboard signs on the street corners got it right the whole time. Repent, for the end is near. And with that said, I hope you guys have a great day.